All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is TCP bringing you the TCP SuperSystem once again. Today's video, we're actually going to have two. One, helping you understand the game. So, are we in a crypto bust here? Are we in a crypto opportunity? We're going to show you and tell you why we feel like we're in a crypto opportunity. And we're going to do that by showing you two quick videos, one statement from Charles Hoskinson, then show you something briefly from our crypto super system, which you see on our screen, which will lead to this second video. So real quickly, we will start with our LinkedIn page here with two quick videos. They're not very long, so bear with us and stay with us. So this is Trim Capital Partners LinkedIn page. We're going to scroll down to our first video, which is from Chainlink's Sergey Nazarov talking about DeFi and TradeFi collaboration. This is from the 2025 Digital Asset Summit in New York. So just take a quick listen.
But now it is actually happening. For example, Aave has this great new Horizon product.
Aave?
That's an institutional grade version of Aave that is going to allow you to do all kinds of exciting things with RWAs, with an institutional level of backing and reliability that you couldn't get without having those RWAs backed and custodied by those institutions. This is something that has been tried before, has been worked on before, has been talked about in our industry, but now with the new regulatory environment making the institutions comfortable enough to actually act on working with DeFi, the final hurdle is removed. This final hurdle was basically the biggest one to begin with.
There it is.
And what I now see is that all the yield in DeFi, all the liquidity in DeFi is very attractive to the institutional world. And what you'll basically see is institutional products like money markets and various other RWAs that are represented on chain and have lending markets around them on chain and are basically using DeFi as distribution. And Aave, I think, will be, as it is now for lending, the main channel for that distribution.
So you just heard it there from Sergey. Aave being a major player in real-world asset tokenization. And that's from the horse's mouth himself, major player in the space. So first takeaway, the final hurdle has been overcome for institutional adoption. Aave being one of the major players in real-world asset tokenization. Second video.
What does the future look like to you?
Sorry, let me pause that. With Michael Saylor and Laura here, talking about Bitcoin's future. Take a listen.
What does the future look like to you with Bitcoin, with cryptocurrency in general? Where do you see it 5, 10, or even 100 years from now?
I think big tech is going to embrace Bitcoin. They're going to let you hold your Bitcoin on your iPhone, on your Android phone. It will find its way into Microsoft software, Amazon software, Google, Apple software.
That is mainstream adoption.
I think that banks are going to embrace Bitcoin. So your bank's going to give you a loan against your Bitcoin. It'll buy Bitcoin for you. Insurance companies will start to support Bitcoin. I think families will increasingly begin to see it as their savings account. The yoga studio, the restaurant, the hotel chain, they'll be able to raise capital in order to improve their business and to innovate. And I think that sound money, that will spread through South America, Africa, Asia, it'll treasure China. So I think the future is American values, American technology, not just making America great, but also spreading economic prosperity to the entire world.
Well, Michael Saylor, I want to say thank you. Thanks for breaking it down for us, making it more palatable, I think, to the average person to understand and feel comfortable with. Because
yeah, that's pretty much it. So, whether you're new or seasoned in crypto space, Michael Saylor is one of the most prominent figures, founder of MicroStrategy, which is now Strategy, continues to use the tools at his exposure to raise capital to buy more Bitcoin. I think he now holds I believe it's over 500,000 Bitcoin. So obviously one of the biggest players in the space. And again, you heard it there with the banks, looking at ways to offer crypto-related solutions to their customers, which is something that's rarely been talked about until now. And in fact, banks were previously preventing people from opening accounts who were involved in crypto space. So remarkable transformations happening right now. And I'll come back to this video in just a minute as part of our kind of rationalization on why we feel the way we do. One other thing I wanted to show you is from our Twitter page here. You can see it's at TCP_SuperSystem. Just for, if you'll follow us there, we would certainly appreciate it. But wanted to show you this comment from Charles Hoskinson of the IOHK, which helps the Cardano Foundation in that project. So you can compress a spring, but remember it bounces back. The markets seem hopeless and broken, but the bull market will be spectacular. Right there, the first takeaway is the bull market's not even over. And then he goes on to say, I still remain confident in a $250,000 Bitcoin within a year, alongside a rising tide for everyone else. It's just going to be a bumpy ride. So that right there tells you that they're expecting that to go throughout the second half of 25 into early 2026, with a $250,000 Bitcoin price as being his, I guess, target. So now with those three things, if you think about the crypto space, and this is where you need to understand the game, and then we'll kind of get into our third element here. But on one side you have ecosystem development, institutional adoption via ETFs like IBIT from BlackRock, tokenization projects like Ondo, tokenizing U.S. Treasuries, Bitcoin strategic reserves, not just from the U.S., but from multiple nations around the globe. Digital asset stockpiles being communicated out of the White House. Stablecoin legislation. And then institutions around the world evaluating opportunities and treasury strategies to implement and hold Bitcoin and potentially other cryptos. So that right there is mainstream adoption. And then obviously to some of these other points in these videos, banks beginning to explore opportunities and solutions that they can offer to their customers when it comes to crypto custody. So remarkable transformation when just a couple of years back, some of these major bankers were calling this stuff rat poison, threatening to fire their employees who mentioned Bitcoin to their customers, and now they're all wanting a piece of the pie. So I think what you're witnessing is the beginning of one of the most remarkable financial transformations that you would ever see, especially in our lifetime. And so that's the good news. Bad news is on this other side, you have the most opportunistic event, if you will, in the Trump tariffs that can potentially cause some short-term pain. And you're seeing this messaging that's creating a lot of fear in the market, a lot of panic selling. Look at the equity markets, look at the crypto markets. They're down significantly in a very short period of time. And to us, knowing what we know over here, most people are being distracted by the tariff and the messaging coming out of the media around that, when this is probably one of the best opportunities for the next 5 to 10 years to be able to build generational wealth for you and your family. So truly special times with what's coming down the pipe. And I want to show you why, we don't think tariffs are the reason this is happening, but we think it's due to liquidations for those that are using leverage. And we're going to show you a couple of examples. And this is really sad when you think about the big picture here. You have a lot of retail investors who may be trying to use leverage because they want bigger positions. They want to be able to generate that wealth. So they go to leverage, not really understanding the risk. When if you think about these market makers and these large institutional players, they have real-time order book data that really gives them insights into where these leveraged positions are in the market. And then all of a sudden you get these huge market moves. You get these big candle wicks in one day that just absolutely destroys and wipes out everyone using leverage. And they're losing their assets, they're losing their positions, and they're going to miss out on the greatest opportunity of their lifetime. So what you're looking at on the screen here is the XRP 1 month liquidation heat map from CoinInc. And you can see just in a matter of a few days, this thing wicked all the way down to about probably just under 160, I believe it is. And you can see it, these brighter green levels are the heavier, the levels with more leverage. These green areas that you can barely even see are, and let me see if I can expand this a little bit closer here so you can actually see it. I might not be able to. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully you can see that a little better. But these darker shades that you can barely see, that's, you know, there's leverage there, but not quite as much. But you can see this thing absolutely wiped everyone out, and just at the right amount. And then bam, what do you know, it pops right back. And a lot of these charts look the same, and that's why it's very sad. It's very important that you understand these levels, you monitor this, because these are prime opportunities to load up and scale in. If you're doing some type of dollar cost averaging methodology, these are great levels. And we're going to show you why our system is fantastic at helping identify these areas, because we absolutely nailed it today with over 20 alerts in our super system during this huge downturn this morning. So we'll show you that in just a minute. But we'll take a look at Solana. That's another one of those digital asset stockpile projects. Again, look at this. It's truly nasty. Went from around 122 all the way down to under $100, which absolutely again wiped out every single level of leverage there. Then bounced right back. So it took them out, bounced right back. And then looking at Cardano, since we had a Charles Hoskinson comment, let's go ahead and look at that one real quick. Again, another one of the digital asset stockpile assets. And again, look at that. I mean, it's truly remarkable. From 66 all the way down to 54 cents, wiping every single leverage position out there. It's so nasty. So again, that's why we say, you know, understand the risk, understand the game. Don't be distracted by whatever event that they're using to create this storyline of, you know, massive recession, etc. This is one of the greatest opportunities that I think we might see in our lifetime. With that, I do want to kind of show you something real fast, and this will lead us into the next video, which we're going to post after this. So we would, I guess, urge you to take a look at that, because I think you'll find it interesting. We're actually going to go into some of those alerts, talk through the chart and what these symbols mean in our super system, which is a free system in TradingView. Excuse me. You know, we also in the description of this video there will be links to our Patreon page where you can go and get a very cheap plan where you can get access one-on-one. We'll help you set up the system, and we offer you the ability to talk one-on-one through any particular crypto or equity that you want. But this live view here, this is live as of 8:55 p.m. on Monday, April 7th. And you can see today our alert log, April 7th, and we had over 20. You know, in our system, it's the dark green diamond, which we'll show you an example here in the next video, but it's our buy alert level 2, which is historically the most opportunistic levels to scale in over time. So usually when we see this volume of this alert, that would typically signal that we're getting close to a bottom. So don't want to take the thunder away from the next video, but truly remarkable day today with the downturn, the liquidations, and all the alerts. And you know, stay tuned to the next video, and we'll show you what this alert looks like on these charts and how to read some of this stuff. And then we'll also be doing some additional trainer videos, which will help you with the setup and the understanding of the system. So appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.